This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Tonight, huge news because it's primary night in America, and there's a whole bunch of different primaries that are going to be taking place. The biggies that a lot of people are talking about are, of course, in D.C. and also Georgia, but Alabama, California has a House special one, and also Oklahoma. So who better than Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary? Ari, boy, oh boy, where do you want to start?
What a day. What a day. You know, this potential attack on Washington is really, it's rattling. And the fact that this was not something where normally you read it was an FBI informant who stopped them. They thought they were talking to somebody who was one of them, but he turned out to be an FBI agent. So it was never really going to happen. This was really going to happen. And that is what's so frightening about what they were planning. And by the way, what I've seen about the motive of these would-be attackers, they were anti-billionaire, anti-Elon Musk, anti-Netanyahu, anti-Zionist. So I don't know what that makes their ideology yet, but it sure doesn't sound far right to me.
I was about to say, and the other thing I saw too, they were against some of these data centers. They seemed anti-capitalist. So they, to me, seemed like some almost left the other way. Yeah, that's what I'm inclined to think when you add up all those things.
There's somebody poisoning our kids.
We'll find out.
There's something going on.
Yeah, you know what's so scary? And we were talking about this earlier with George Venizelos here, Ari, from the FBI, is that, to me, the ideology, when you read some of the things that they were saying in this Signal chat, it's almost like they're echoing some of the things you're hearing out from some politicians. And that's frightening, especially on the left.
Yeah, social media is killing us.
Well, and left-wing violence is killing us.
Yeah,
I mean, when you look at, with the exception of January 6th, which was a riot, not an insurrection, and it never should have happened, that is the only example you can find of conservatives engaging in anything that even comes close. And there was very limited violence. The left is full of violence. This is how they practice their politics, and it keeps happening on a regular basis, either assassination attempts on Supreme Court justices, members of Congress. It just keeps happening from the left.
Extremism in any direction, Ari, is no good.
Right.
Correct.
All right. Our enemies push extremism on both sides. That's the sad thing. And it's easy to do nowadays.
And it could be foreign influence on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, well, I think we're going to learn a lot more
whether it's China
about
or Iran or whoever. There could be foreign, because these individuals that we talk about, I don't want to mention names, these individuals that we talk about, that it's not their money. It's foreign governments that are funneling it through them.
Well, this one doesn't appear to be foreign linked. This one appears to be home cooking. And that should frighten us even more.
Yes.
You know what's scary, Ari, too, and I'm looking at George, is that they believe they got 5 in custody. And apparently they believe there were several dozen on the Signal chat. That's what's so scary. And they're in different states. I mean, this is a well-coordinated, and some of them were coming into town. They busted them on the 10th. The event was on the 14th.
Right.
That doesn't leave a lot of time. Thank goodness the parent turned him in. Thank goodness they were looking at that app.
Hopefully this is well ongoing. It's an ongoing investigation, and they have to uncover this. They have to go deep in this. That's why, it's nice to get things out. Maybe they wanted to get it out. But sometimes it's better to hold it back and finish the case before you come out with it.
Yeah, but it's better just to get not like the old-fashioned way. Get the news out and get.
Yeah, but sometimes you tip off.
Know what's going on. You know what?
You don't want them to know you're onto them. Sometimes.
On one of the cases, the mother turned in her own son.
Yeah.
So dial whatever the FBI number is. We should be able to tell that to people. It's 911 for local police, and the FBI number, I forget what it was. 800 something.
But it's the see something, say something. You're right. Definitely speak up, because you look at the history. You know, Ari, it really scares me too, because it makes me wonder, we are really headed into such a divisive time that some of this rhetoric that very sadly
we're
is out
to
there.
Save America.
We're trying.
Because
we are trying.
They're trying to knock us out.
I agree. And how scary, John. I've never seen it so divided.
Your turn to talk.
And to bring it home, keep your eye on the elections tonight, because it's possible that we're going to have even more socialists get elected into the Congress. I did a little research on this today. In 2017, there were only about 35 members of the Democrat Socialists for America in elected office in the United States. Now there are 250. Wow. And 3 more socialists could get added to the ranks of Congress, depending what happens in New York elections, primary elections today, which would bring 6 socialists into Congress next session. And there are dozens in state legislatures, mostly focused in New York, Minnesota, Illinois, and Vermont, 5 mayors. In addition to Mondami, you've got the mayor of Seattle, Burlington, Vermont, Richmond, and Irvine, California, socialist mayors. Socialism is on the march inside the Democratic Party. It's going to get tested today in several important primaries, mostly in New York State, New York City. And you talk about polarization. You talk about the days where you used to be able to cut a deal with a Democrat. There's no cutting a deal with AOC. There's no cutting a deal with Rashida Tlaib. This is the problem that makes polarization even worse. And let's hope tonight that the socialists lose in their primaries and the wacky progressives beat the even wackier socialists.
You know what's scary, Ari Fleischer, is like in District of Columbia, they've got the mayor's race there. And that's really frightening, because this woman, she was in they're all fairly progressive. But she stood out. She said, no, she doesn't want curfews. She wants to diminish crimes. I mean, not only is it, to me, crazy rhetoric, it's downright dangerous.
Well, talking about dangerous from this stuff, our favorite Senate candidate, Graham Plattner up in Maine, it's found out now he was a member of a group called the Socialist Rifle Association in Maine. Now, that's not just a group that practices hitting targets. That's a group that practices hitting ideologies. There is a frightening element here on the far left that does not think violence should be ruled out in solving problems. We've seen that in polls of young leftists. They believe that violence is an option for solving political problems.
Yeah, very scary. Craig Eaton.
You know what, Ari? We called it here at WABC. When we saw that Mamdani was going to win, we knew that this was going to open the floodgates to all of these DSA candidates around the country. And that's exactly what's happening, because they're saying everything's free buses, free rent, nothing's going to happen. You guys are going to get everything. And these young people jumped on board, and they're going to realize that they're not going to get what they were promised.
That's the thing about Mondami. Mondami is good at moving his mouth, but he's not really good at getting anything else done, is he? So many of his things are just dreams, which of course is what socialism is. It's just dreams. When people try to turn them into reality, they become everybody's nightmare, and they hurt poor people the most. That's who suffers the most under socialism.
Yeah. And Ari, the other thing too, you talked about the mayors. What about, you got this Homaway guy in New Jersey. Yeah. You've got El Sayed, who's running,
Michigan.
Yes, in Michigan. I mean, you've got some very radical who are hanging around people who say they don't like America. America deserved 9/11. I mean, this Homaway guy, he was the character witness for the blind sheikh. I mean, not only, you can't make it up.
More than a character witness, he was the aide de camp. He was a translator.
Right.
He was in the car. He knew exactly what was going on as it was being planned. And he should have been indicted and he should have been convicted.
By the way, let's not forget voluntary character witness. He stepped up. He wasn't subpoenaed. He said, I can't wait to testify on that guy's behalf who carried out the World Trade Center bombing in 93, who was the mastermind.
Yeah. It all goes back to illegal immigration.
He won, and he's heading to Congress in inner city Philadelphia, a member of the Democrat Socialists of America. A socialist won his primary. He's heading to Congress. No Republican will win in that district. In Texas, now she got defeated, but she got almost 40% of the vote. There was a Democrat in the primary, in a runoff, who advocated putting Zionists in detention camps. That was her policy, her stated policy. It came out about a week before the election, And so even with people knowing that was what she believed in, she almost got 40% of the vote in a Democratic primary. Thank goodness she was defeated. But when 40% of Democrats in a congressional primary say, I'll vote for the person who says put Zionists in detention centers, what has happened to the Democrat Party?
Yeah.
It is really shocking. And they've come right out, Ari, and essentially said, we'll just take anybody. I mean, they know how bad Plattner is. You could see they're like dodging, like the other day was that Hakeem Jeffries was asked, and he said, let's talk about the Knicks. Final thoughts, Ari.
Yeah, they have a lot of reason to dodge up there. And in Maine, I have a lot of faith in Susan Collins. Just don't forget, she won her last races with 23-point win, 30-point win, and a 9-point win. She is one tough cookie.
Good.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Ari. Thank you so much.